It's true, I do have the key. Welcome again, folks. Today, I'm going to talk about the 8 best event management software platforms in 2026. There are a lot of event management platforms out there, and picking the wrong one could cost you a lot of money and headaches on event day. Now, when you're behind thousands of events like I've been, for organizations to universities to government bodies, you learn pretty fast which platforms actually do the job when it matters most. So in this video, I'm going over 8 of the top event management platforms, covering what each one does well and where each one falls short. So by the end of the video, you'll know exactly which one is right for your specific situation. Let's get into it. What to look for in event management software. So before we get into evaluating these different event management platforms, let's get clear on what you should actually be looking for. The first thing you want is a platform that covers the full event lifecycle all from one place. That means registration, marketing, on-site execution, and post-event analytics should all live in the same system, because when things live in separate tools, you're constantly exporting, importing, and cross-referencing data instead of actually focusing on the event. So choose something for your before, during, and after event management. Beyond that, it needs to work for in-person, virtual, and hybrid formats without having to switch platforms. Event formats change, and if your platform is only built for one of them, you're rebuilding your entire workflow from scratch every single time, and that will end up looking different and will be a lot of work for you. And then on top of all that, the support behind the platform really counts. Because if something breaks an event day, a help ticket with a 24-hour response window isn't going to cut it. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of platforms that seem great end up letting people down. So let's start with number 1, Eventcombo, which is a true all-in-one platform built for in-person, virtual, and hybrid events of any size. It's used across industries like healthcare, finance, technology, and education. And it scales from small internal meetings all the way up to large multi-day conferences. Starting with registration and ticketing, it's one of the most flexible systems you're going to find. You can build fully customized forms with conditional logic and nested fields to collect exactly the attendee data you need. It also supports unlimited ticket types, early bird pricing, multi-day events, VIP tiers, vouchers, and waitlists, all from the same dashboard. From there, the event website builder gives you complete control over how your event looks to the outside world. You can start from a professionally designed template or build from scratch with a drag and drop editor, and you can even add custom CSS if you want full design control with no limitations whatsoever. Then, when it actually comes to promoting your event, there's a built-in email marketing engine that's fully private labeled and connected directly to your registration system. You can segment your lists, schedule campaigns, automate behavior-triggered emails, and track opens and click-throughs, all without ever leaving the platform. When it comes to event day, Eventcombo handles everything on site, from the check-in experience all the way to self-service badge printing. Attendees scan via a QR code, print their own personalized badges, and your team gets live attendance tracking throughout the event in real time. Badges are fully customizable with logos, names, job titles, and QR codes, and they can be printed on paper, vinyl, or plastic. There's also a mobile event app that keeps attendees engaged before, during, and after the event. It includes push notifications, live polls, Q&A, personalized agendas, interactive venue maps, attendee chat, networking features, all in one place. And then it also has AI built into the platform in a way that actually changes the attendee experience. AI-powered matchmaking connects attendees based on shared interests and behavior patterns, so the networking at your event is actually useful. There's also one-click AI registration, which speeds up the sign-up process and cuts down on drop-offs. On the integration side, Eventcombo connects with over 250 tools, including Salesforce, HubSpot, Marketo, Workday, Stripe, Authorize.net, Power BI, Tableau, Snowflake, and the list goes on and on. So your registration data, payment data, and CRM records all stay in sync without any manual exporting. The analytics give you a full picture of your event's performance in real time. You get custom dashboards, session level engagement data, schedule reporting delivered straight to your inbox, as well as specific insights to help you make smarter decisions for future events. And finally, Eventcombo offers 24/7 human support, which is generally rare at this level. If something goes wrong on event day, you're getting an actual human being to help you, not a chatbot or a help article. By the way, if you want to try Eventcombo, feel free to demo by clicking on the first link in the description. All right, number 2. Next up is Eventbrite. And for what it is, it does its core job very well. It's probably the most recognized name in ticketing for a reason. And for simple, straightforward public events, it gets a job done without a lot of friction. The setup is quick, the interface is familiar to a lot of attendees, and if you just need to sell tickets to a general audience without a ton of customization, it works. Where things start to get limiting though is the moment your event gets more complex, because the service fees add up quickly as you scale and the branding options are fairly generic and limiting. So if your event needs to feel like your brand, you're already working against the platform. It's also not really built for multi-day formats or custom registration flows, and once you need anything beyond basic, you're going to need additional tools on top of it, which are almost never available. And there's no real path forward if your event strategy ever moves into hybrid or virtual territory. So you're essentially starting over with a completely different platform at that point. Number 3, Cvent is probably the most well-known name in the enterprise side of this list. And if you're running large-scale events with complex logistics, venue sourcing, and hotel booking needs, it generally has the infrastructure to support that. It also integrates with a wide range of enterprise tools. So if you're already working within a specific tech stack, there's a decent chance it connects with what you're already using. That said, pricing transparency is a consistent complaint from users, and it's not always clear what you're actually paying for until you're already deep into a contract. The platform is also very complex. It slows down teams significantly during the setup and execution, which is a real cost when you're working against deadlines. Cvent is a combination of multiple tools that were acquired over 25 years, so that's why it feels a little bit fragmented. And at this point, it's widely considered a legacy platform, meaning it was built for a different era of events and hasn't always kept pace with what modern planners are actually asking for. So for most organizations outside of large enterprises, it's more platform than they need and harder to use than it should be. Number 4, now Bizible has built a strong reputation around attendee engagement, and that's generally one of its stronger suits. The networking tools are well thought out and the interface is clean enough that most teams don't need a long ramp-up time to get comfortable with. For hybrid and virtual events specifically, it handles those formats reasonably well. And if that's primarily what your event calendar looks like, it's worth considering. But where it starts to struggle is in the specifics. Things like managing waitlists and international registrations have been flagged by users as more painful than it should be. And international pricing has been a consistent concern for organizations running events across multiple regions. In-person execution at scale is also where it tends to fall short, which is a pretty significant limitation given that in-person events are the dominant format now. And support responsiveness has come up enough in reviews that it's worth factoring in, because when something goes wrong at an event, you want to know if someone's actually going to pick up. Number 5, RingCentral Events, formerly Hopin. RingCentral Events does a decent job for what it was originally built for. And if webinars and full online event formats are your whole world, it can get you where you need to go without a ton of hassle for sure. The virtual stage setup is relatively straightforward. And for teams that just need a reliable way to host online sessions and breakout rooms, it covers those quite well. Where it gets harder to justify though is the app stability, because users have reported experiencing issues on a weekly basis, and that's not a great track record for something you're depending on during a live event. The support experience has also been described as inconsistent, so if something does go wrong, there's no guarantee you're going to get the help you need in time. And if any part of your events happen on the ground, it's just not the right tool. The in-person capabilities are limited enough that you'd notice pretty fast what it can't do. And at that point, you're back to needing a second platform anyway. Number 6, Hova is one of the more attendee-friendly platforms on this list when it comes to the basics. The mobile app is clean, navigating the event schedule is straightforward, and for smaller events where the main goal is just getting people connected and oriented, it holds up just fine. The networking side of things work well enough for simple use cases, and attendees generally find it easy to pick up without needing any guidance. Where it runs into trouble is on the organizer side though, because sending customized messages to different attendee segments is something users have specifically called out as harder than it should be. And when you're managing a complex event with different audience groups, that becomes a problem. There are also documented cases of the platform going down during live events, which is the kind of thing that's hard to come back from once it happens in front of your attendees. At the end of the day, it's a tool that works better for your attendees than it does for you as the organizer. And that imbalance becomes pretty obvious once your events get more involved but overall, not too bad. Number 7, vFairs. vFairs has carved out a decent niche in the virtual expo and career fair space. And if that's specifically what you're looking for, it does put genuine effort into the virtual environment side of things with some decent customization options for branded online spaces. For organizations that run that type of event regularly and don't need much beyond it, there's definitely something to work with. The setup process is where a lot of users have run into frustration though, with many describing it as difficult and time consuming, which is probably the last thing you want when you're already working against event deadlines. Reliability is also a concern, with users reporting the platform went down during their actual events, and others having to constantly report issues and request corrections even after handoff. It's a platform that has a clear use case but struggles to execute it consistently. And for anything high stakes, where you can't afford things going wrong on the day, it's a tough sell. Last but not least, number 8, AirMeet. To close out the list, AirMeet is a virtual event platform that puts a lot of thought into the social side of online events, and honestly, the social lounge and speed networking features are very well designed for community-focused gatherings, where getting people talking is the whole point. For smaller virtual events with that specific goal in mind, it creates a pretty engaging experience, and attendees generally respond well to it. It gets harder to rely on though once you need the platform to do more than just facilitate conversation, because fuller event management capabilities just aren't really there. Users have also talked about recording and processing problems, which is frustrating when delivering content post-event is part of what you promised your attendees. And there are documented concerns around how the platform has handed commitments to customers over time. So before you build your event operations around it, that's definitely worth looking into for sure. All this to say, if you're looking for the platform that can handle everything from registration and marketing to on-site execution and post-event analytics all from one place, Eventcombo will probably be your best bet out of all these options. I'll leave a link in the description right below this video for you to book a demo. You'll be able to see exactly how it maps to your specific events before committing to anything, and we'll walk you through everything personally so you're not signing up and trying to figure it all out on your own. Again, you'll be able to book a demo by clicking on the first link in the description. If you want to know exactly how to plan the perfect event, then check out this next video.